Sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways. It's time for a change in this country, my friends, a real change.
I have spoken, friends, to Mr. Trudeau and offered him my congratulations, all of our congratulations, on his successful campaign. The disappointment you also feel is my responsibility and mine alone. But know this for certain, when the next time comes, this party will offer Canadians a strong and clear alternative based on our conservative values.
It was October of 2015 when Justin Trudeau's Liberals put an end to 10 years of Conservative rule under Stephen Harper. For Conservatives, it was a sad day, but a predictable one. For Canada's left-leaning voters and activists, it was the greatest night in a long, long time. Even for far-left NDP voters, Justin Trudeau was the new knight in shining armor for social justice, identity politics, and this new breed of outrage culture and safe spaces that millennials require in order to protect themselves from unsafe opinions. He was a feminist. He unapologetically hated Stephen Harper and the Conservatives. And he perfectly embodied the angry resentment and arrogance that would come to define Canada's new left.
Yeah, I was obviously pleased when people took notice of our gender-balanced cabinet.
This new Liberal prince has become the unequivocal representative of progressivism and inclusivity for even Canada's furthest left-wing fringes. He has become the great uniter among Canada's varying left-wing factions, and this could be exactly why Canadians might not see a new Prime Minister again for at least another decade. Combined with Conservative infighting and Trudeau's keen ability to elude negative press coverage, even in the face of outrageous ethics scandals, the Liberal Party's grasp on power might not see an end for a very long time. This is how Justin Trudeau could end up winning 4 consecutive terms before retiring without ever facing an electoral defeat. For Conservatives of all stripes, it might seem impossible to see a future filled with perpetual Liberal Party wins. But as we look at the state of Canadian conservatism at the moment, the possibilities will start to seem less far-fetched. Unlike Canada's left, which is defined by collectivism and superior social cohesion, Canadian Conservatives are individualistic and have often made it difficult for any big C party leader to maintain consistent cohesion. Leading Conservatives is like trying to herd fire-red ants. Leading a cohesive and consistent Conservative Party in Canada has been a constant struggle, even for one of its greatest leaders thus far, Stephen Harper. Being a Conservative and winning elections has always been a struggle in Canada. This is why it took Stephen Harper 2 tries to defeat a corrupt Liberal Party and 4 tries in total to finally win a Conservative majority in 2011, only to lose it all to Justin Trudeau, who was able to completely obliterate Harper's government with just 1 try.
And you know my position. You know the position of the Conservative Party of Canada. When elected Prime Minister, at the next election, whenever that may be, to bring in legislation that will define marriage as the union of one man and one woman.
Even as a majority Prime Minister, Harper struggled to maintain loyalty and cohesion amongst Conservative factions, which often include Libertarians, Social Conservatives, and some softer Progressives. Complaints against Harper came from every Conservative corner, from the SoCons who weren't happy that his party didn't revisit abortion, to Libertarians who began to wonder why Harper wasn't doing more to shrink government and put the axe to more social programs. It was always a slippery slope for Stephen Harper, and the varying factions within Canadian conservatism would not and could not get along.
Friends, our country is one of the most enduring democracies in the world today. And today, for the 42nd time in 148 years, Canadians have chosen a national parliament. Well, tonight's result is certainly not the one we had hoped for. The people are never wrong. The
people of Canada have elected a Liberal government.
Sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways.
How does Justin do it? Well, as stated earlier, Justin Trudeau is the left's great uniting force. This is shown in his ability to take from Canada's far-left NDP while still somehow appealing to the left's lighter and less radical elements. Under Trudeau, NDP support has collapsed. Even with the NDP's new charismatic Sikh leader, Trudeau remains the NDP's most popular representative. At the moment, the NDP doesn't need anyone else to do their bidding or to push their identity-charged agenda. Under Justin Trudeau, the Liberal Party and the NDP are almost identical, minus a few economic differences. So how do Conservatives even begin to make a dent in all of this? It won't be an easy job in a climate where minority groups are dead set on believing that Conservatives hate them and want to do them harm. It won't be easy in a country where every single mainstream news organization feeds the machine of identity politics and the idea that conservative ideas are dangerous to everyone who isn't a single straight white male. But we shouldn't let that discourage us. There are ways to win, but we will need to work together. Following the election of Andrew Scheer as party leader, many in the conservative movement threw up their hands and said that was it. They weren't going to vote for the Conservative Party in the next election because Andrew is a cuck, or too socially conservative, or because their guy or gal didn't win.
I am so sorry to my world. I am so sorry to my world. This is not what we want.
That isn't how conservatives are going to start winning elections. That's not to say there's no room for reasoned criticism, because there definitely is and there should be. But if conservatives can't even so much as work together to win elections, how should they be expected to change Canada's deeply embedded liberal culture? Politics is downstream from culture, but Canada's culture has become so liberal that winning elections might be a good start in showing Canadians that conservative policies aren't as scary as the CBC tells them. Working at chipping away at rock-solid liberalism that defines Canada will be the responsibility of individual small c conservatives as much as it's the responsibility of Andrew Scheer. To slip conservative ideas into the mainstream stratosphere, conservatives need to be funny, artistic, and more vocal. A majority of Canada's greatest comedians, entertainers, musicians, novelists, painters, and filmmakers are liberal. There are some conservative ones too, but they just haven't been brave enough to let it be known. This needs to change. Canada's conservative artists need to become prouder, louder, and more prolific. Ranting and raving on Twitter isn't going to cut it. It just makes you look angry, bitter, and unhinged. Exactly the way the CBC prefers you to look. It's time to put down the smartphone and pick up a paintbrush, a pen, or a camera. There are so many ideas that can be expressed in more artistic and magical ways. As for winning elections, it's time to be more cohesive. We aren't going to like everything Andrew Scheer says or does, but unless you can think of another party that could beat Justin Trudeau without splitting votes, you're just wasting your time when you call Scheer a cuck, a dork, or a crazy SOCON. There's nothing wrong with fair, honest criticism, but we need to be smart about it. The Big C Conservative Party is the only thing we have in this feral, intensely liberal country that we call home. All we Conservatives have right now is each other. So let's make it work. Unless, of course, you're okay with 15 years of Trudeau. In which case, carry on.